Hope you are doing fine on your side. Today, this workshop is going to be about, thank you, Guillaume, about the use of the presets in 0.7. So obviously the presets are a feature that was um, weighted a lot for obvious reason that will improve the capacity of the game maker and the capacity of doing some gameplay throughout all of that. So that's great that we can talk about it today. Guillaume, if you can move forward to the summary, that would be perfect. Thank you. We will try and show you as many things we can do at the moment with it. I asked Guillaume to take care of that, as he was the one putting his hand on it first, and I think he will be more efficient than me to talk about it. But we wanted to break down the whole thing into 4 different aspects. So the first one will be the basic use of the presets, as in the creation of it. Then the basic use, my bad, and then more advanced use. If I'm not mistaken, Guillaume has a very nice scene on his side showing some different example. And then we'll finish with a Q&A. So keep in mind that today it's gonna be quite a short presentation in the sense that we didn't want to go into too much details on the presets, as there might be still some little issues here and there, and so we're still obviously working on that. So that's why it's going to be a bit shorter, but at least it's going to give you some space for some question later on in the presentation. So that's cool. So I think I will give the hand to Guillaume now. The rest of the presentation is basically the breakdown on how to, like the 3 points that we were talking about. This in that way, you will have like at least a document that you can use for yourself when the 0.7 will be available to create different presets. So yeah, Guillaume, go ahead.
Okay, let's go. So first of all, we will see how to create a preset. It's pretty simple. So the first step is to choose the asset that you want. Then this asset, you can add any behavior, any component, any setting you want. So here we will make him a melee fighter. You will have a health component and maybe a tag of, I don't know, man. And then to create a preset, you have to go to the hierarchy, select your asset and press the right button here. And you will have this option, Save to Presets. When clicking on it, you have a prompt and you can click on Create New, name it as you want. And then once it's created, you can go into the library, choose preset here. So basically you have everything displayed. When you press preset, you will have only the preset. A quick note about this little icon that show you that those assets are presets. Here is the one I just created. And now I can put it in my shortcut bar, and then I will be able to place it anywhere. And as you can see, it has every setting I choose before. So it's a simple way to create a preset. And then we will see how to use them in a basic way. By basic way, I'm referring to the fact that those presets are just like any other assets. When they are inside the shortcut bar, you can just, like I just did, you can place them on the map. For instance, it will be pretty useful to create something like you want a plant. Sorry, you have a plant, you place it, and if you want that plant to have the plant behavior, in order to remove it, I don't know, you can just make it a preset, and then you will be able to place that plant everywhere. So obviously the best setting would be to add no collision on plant. And then I can also save again on the same preset just to update it. So it will be pretty useful for creator, as you can see, to place flower and grass and plant without collision, because right now when you place a plant, you have to remove the collision manually, and it can be a bit boring if you have more than 2000 plants in your level. So this is the basic use of the preset, just being able to choose the basic setting for any asset. But in the 0.7, we have some feature that are working with preset. In fact, we have one feature. It's the spawner behavior. Here, I will set a spawner. So this one will be a spawner. Let's remove that. No, and before, you were able to set the asset to spawn, to choose with the behavior, but you were not able to edit the behavior here. So with the preset, you can do that. When you have your preset created, like for instance, Max here, you see that in the melee enemy behavior, I want him to have a bigger chasing zone. Then I will save my preset again. Done. So the chasing zone is 47. Here in the asset spawner, you can tick this, and then you will be able to choose your preset. This way, I can see the play button. Let's choose that one. Okay. And here I'm able to spawn this preset. So I can see the range in the game maker, but it seems that it has a bigger range than the other one. Let's just check. You see, it comes first because the chasing zone is bigger. So it means that the preset actually keeps every setting I choose when creating it. Oh no, it was the same in fact. So not a good example, but it's super useful to set any value on your assets that you want to spawn, because previously with the basic use of the spawner, you were not able to set the setting in the behavior, in the component, and other stuff. Then you can use that to make pretty more complicated preset. Like you can see, I created a camp here. It's made of 4 assets, meaning that you can use a child and parents inside presets. It can be useful because you can also set some logic in it. And let's see what I did here. For instance, you can do something like spawning a camp. Yep. Oh, it's not well done, but here's what I did. And you can also have the logic to remove it inside the preset itself. We will see another advanced feature that we can do. It's not an advanced feature, but it's another way to use it. Maybe some of you are using the teleport system that CyberDragon is showcasing in his last video on his YouTube channel. So basically, you interact with it and you will be teleported here. So let's just see how it works. So here, I'm teleported. How does it work? Oh, I can click on that. Can I move that? Oh, yeah. So here, with with CyberDragon's system, we are changing the instant death message to trigger and the message sent on death to kill. Why? Mainly because as before we could not update, sorry, it's here. We cannot set anything for the message broadcaster here. The default message of a message broadcaster is trigger. So now with the preset, you can also use, you can choose whatever message you want the broadcaster to send. So here is my preset I did with the broadcaster. And as you can see, I changed the trigger message to kill. Then if I go in the component setting, I can set back kill here. And here I can use maybe it's kill teleport destination. So that's the message I set here because the default message of the health component was kill, and now it's kill teleport destination. So it's pretty useful because that way you can keep the original way to kill the player with the kill message. So it means that in your experience, you will be able to teleport and also to kill the player with anything like deadly floor and stuff like that. So right now, if we test, it worked the same as before, but I still have, like I said, the opportunity to use that kill message on the player. So that's basically it. There is not much to show you. In fact, it's up to you to do what you want with the presets. I think it will enhance the capacity of the game maker a lot. Obviously, it will be easier to set indicators also, because right now there is no way to spawn an indicator with the settings you want, and now with the preset you can do it. So it's basically the same that I did here. If you want to spawn an indicator, you can create a preset like this one. Because sometimes you don't want the indicator to be here in the beginning and you want it to appear during the experience. So with that, with the preset, you can do it. I can save it here, save to preset, up, indicator, and that's it. Then you can spawn it when you want the interaction to be available. Quick note about some issue we have with the preset right now. For instance, the replace with preset is pretty useful as it will allow you to replace anything, a preset or an asset, with a preset, but sometimes it leads to a crash. So before using that feature, be sure to save your map. It can be useful if you don't want to make an asset from scratch if you have the preset already ready. But keep in mind that the preset is still a work in progress feature. I mean, we are still in alpha, so obviously we still have some bugs. I think there was another possible issue. Let me check. Oh yeah. So another thing is that when you update a preset, it means that when you save the preset on top of an existing one, it will not update here. Let's do it, for instance, with another numpad. Here, I want to save this preset over max here. And when I save, as you can see, the preset is still present here, even if it's not present anymore in the library. So be sure to remove this one because it can lead to some mistakes on your side. Once again, it's a known issue, but you need to be aware of that one.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
curious, how do you make a preset with multiple assets? If you can't.
So, okay, let's see. I will redo the camp that I did for the example. So for instance, no, that's not the name. Tent. You place a tent on asset. You place a fire pit. This one. Up. I want to remove the collision of on the flame. And then in the hierarchy, you can just drag and drop your assets to have a parent and child relation between them. So the parent will be the tent here. And now, if I save the parent as a preset, everything everything is part of the preset. So when I check here in the
That's
library,
great. Thank you for showing that.
it's here, and then you can place it anywhere. And as I told you before, you're also allowed to add logic in it. Here it's only visual, but here I have some logic, like when I interact with this ball, I send the message remove camp, and the parent, this one, has a plain behavior with the remove camp message. So it means that when you remove this asset, it removes everything that is a children. And that's it, I guess, for the preset. If you have any question, I may be able to show more stuff, but if you have precise cases that you want me to explain, but I think we did almost everything that we can do with the preset right now.
Yes, thank you, Guillaume. Was a great explanation. And as a reminder, you still have the presentation on the side that will break down everything to you that we will send you. And yeah.
We
Guillaume,
forgot
please.
to tell about that.
I was going to say that exactly,
okay.
so please go ahead.
When you save a preset, they are available on the map you are working on only, meaning that you can't create preset for, let's say, 2, 3, or 4 different experiences. Each time you will have to redo the preset. I think the feature will come in the future, but right now it's not possible.
Excuse me. So it was a question from Ben, and it was asking if, say you decided to make an update to the preset that maybe you've placed 5 camps and you decide to change the preset. When you basically save that over the previous version of the preset, does that update everything in game that you have placed, or is it just for new placements?
In fact, yeah, the presets are only related to what is inside the library. When it's placed inside the map, it's not considered as a preset anymore. It's just considered as a basic asset.
There's a common issue where using multiple child objects sometimes get deparented. Is that fixed in 0.7, or is it still a problem? Because then the child objects might get deparented from the preset.
I think it's fixed because I tried many times and I didn't have the issue. But yeah, maybe we need more tests on that. But for now, I didn't see that issue again.
We have another question. What happens if you spawn a preset that also spawns another preset? Talking about preset nesting.
It should be okay. In fact, when a preset is spawned in the map, it's not a preset anymore. It's an asset with its own logic. So if this asset is a spawner, it will be able to spawn another preset.
There are so many, I can see so many creative ways of doing things with this. Like you mentioned, you mentioned really quickly earlier about how you could have an indicator show when you want it to, using the preset, maybe spawning something. And I can think of, with education purposes, I've been using the speaker component and also indicators for labels of things, but I don't want it to pop up at the very beginning of something. It would be nice to be able to pull that kind of stuff up easily.
I still think we need a rework of the indicator components, but yeah, with the preset, you have a lot more freedom with that. You need to think of the preset with multiple assets like a batch of assets, and that's it. In fact, well, when they are inside the game, they are not linked together anymore in terms of preset. If they are parent and children, they still got the link, but not in terms of presets.
So what was the difference with teleporting? What did you change?
So what I changed in the teleportation system is, you know, without the preset, you must use the default setting for each behavior. So the default message sent by a broadcaster is the trigger message. So the workaround from CyberDragon to use that was to spawn an asset with the broadcaster in it, but it also needed to change the message that kills the player. By default, the message that kills the player is kill, and it changed it to trigger because we can't change the default message of a spawned broadcaster. With the preset, you can set any value, any settings you want in any assets, any behavior, I mean. Thus, it allows you to keep the default kill message on the player. It can be useful because sometimes you want to kill the player in another way than using the trigger message. So yeah, it was just a way to show you how it improves some stuff we are doing without them.
And that kill message is a default on things that have a health component, so it could
Yeah,
kill multiple things. It's nice to be
exactly.
able to differentiate.
So if you want to change it to trigger or something else with the preset, you can do that. I'm pretty sure that a lot of creators will come up with new idea and new
I
stuff
can't wait to
that
see the conversations that come out of just this one feature.
It brings a lot of new possibilities, so really looking forward to that.
So I'm just thinking, you know, in some games you may have a repeated element in the game, and so you use the camp, which is a great example of that, where you would have, you know, you want to make it really easy to be able to place things so that you have your set of items you want to have in that space, and maybe the player has to go to 5 camps and, you know, defeat enemies at them, and that's what moves them on through the quest or something like that. And when you do that, presets should be a really easy way to have all of the settings exactly how you want, so you don't have to place every single object independently and go through all the settings. And then if you want to tweak it a little bit and make it look a little bit more unique at each location, those objects are placed once you place the preset, you know, in that spot. They become objects, and you can do whatever you want with them. So you could rearrange everything around, still have the same elements there, not have to redo everything one by one. This could be a huge time saver, and you can kind of modify it even after placing. Let's see, and we have Bora says, if the presets are considered as separate assets within the engine, I take that it is not possible to collect the parent with the rest of the preset parts into the inventory and then deploy it again somewhere else. You could do pickable, where you pick up the parent object and then just change the offset. It could look weird depending. I mean, I'm thinking for some reason the camp is showing up in my brain. And so I'm thinking, well, you could pick up the camp and then move it around and place the camp if you have a parent object. But do they have that connection though, the hierarchy relation?
The issue at the moment is that we have no interaction with the inventory apart from equipping some stuff. So what you want to do, I think it's still possible with the logic, but it will not be possible to click on an item inside the inventory to place it on the map. But I'm pretty sure it's doable with some complex logic, obviously. But yeah.
So I'm wondering if there can be presets that are saved that you could use in multiple different experiences in the future. I'm wondering if that's, you know, I'll have to ask the team. I have all these questions. I have like a sticky note.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree that it's a must-have, because if you are working on 5 experiences for the same IP, let's say, it makes sense to have the preset shared between experiences. So we should ask for that.
All right, so do we have any other questions? It sounds like we're wrapping up. We're going to be closing up a little bit early. Does 0.7 need to recheck the whole experience that was created in 0.624? Yes, I think it would be wise just to go through any experiences that you had built with a previous version. Just double check it, make sure it works. It's always a great idea.
And don't hesitate to report any big issue you find.
And obviously, you know, when you get this new version, play around a little bit with presets in an empty game, and then, you know, then go into the one that you're working on. That's your big project, and start applying what you learned after kind of testing things a little bit.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.